Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Camera with AndyGames. This is the podcast where I interview streamers and content creators with the sole purpose of getting to know the person a little bit better behind the camera. Now, before we get going, those who are currently watching, you might notice at the bottom of the screen there is a QR code. So, what this is I am currently partaking in a charity campaign called Jingle Jam, and the charity I am supporting is called Campaign Against Living Miserably. They are a suicide prevention and mental health charity. I interviewed them in the last episode of Behind the Camera, so definitely check that out. They do incredible work. If you would like to donate, the QR code is there. The page is on Tiltify, and it is going towards an incredible, incredible cause. So, now that we have that covered, allow me to introduce my guest this evening. This evening we have Doc Rock. Rocky, how are you doing, sir?
We're good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No, of course. Thank you for taking the time. I am doing good.
Just trying to live up to this group that you have on, up to this point and after me. So,
dude, honestly, you'll be a cut above the rest. But there's we don't. There's no point comparing people because, like, the way I do, the way I look at it, and the reason why I do this is because every single person has a story to tell. There's always something about people that we might not know, people we spend a lot of time watching. So it's nice to kind of get to know people, like, in terms of like that, regardless,
Yeah.
So,
Love it.
yeah. So, so the format, as you know, we've discussed, is I have a few questions for you, but in a behind the camera first, you have asked me to not send you the questions in advance. Every single person I've interviewed has wanted to see the questions beforehand, or at least I've sent them the questions by way of a courtesy. So you outright just said, no, I want to go in straight in, no kissing. I want it to be raw as anything. Like,
yep.
And that wasn't just about the questions. I am a professional, I promise. So yeah, let's get cracking with it then, Doc. First of all, take us back to the beginning. What has your gaming journey looked like from the very start? Like, what sort of games did you always play, and how did this lead into streaming?
So, yeah, I mean, growing up, like the first couple games I probably were playing are like Super Nintendos, like at my cousin's place. I didn't grow up with a ton of like game consoles and didn't probably have one. Like the 64 was like, which is still what I watch and still what I play, obviously, the most of, whether it's on it actually, sitting still connected to my TV, literally, like downstairs. I have my original N64, and then I also obviously am emulating and may spend an hour or two a day watching people play some 64 games, maybe just 1 or 2 hours. But that's like really where it all started, is kind of based around the N64. Like I said, my cousin had a Super Nintendo that is probably the first console I would have touched, and played a little bit of Sega at the kinder care when I was a little daycare. A lot of people hate Echo the Dolphin, but I fucking love that game. Okay.
I've heard controversial things about it.
I love that game. Even if it's an awful game, I love it. And then really from there, N64, like I didn't have a PlayStation, like a PlayStation 1. Went to PlayStation 2 and then like 360, and kind of bounced back and forth between like Xbox and PlayStation. But we're probably right under a year of streaming. I think it was probably December, probably like 20th or something like that I would have gone live for like the first time.
Yes, I do remember. You going live because I knew you before. Before streaming, and then all of a sudden we started going live, and then it's just kind of like grown from there, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, probably around December. And first when I started, I was doing like Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
so I played a lot of Counter-Strike and was going live. A lot of like really weird games at really weird hours, and didn't really have any kind of a plan at all. I just kind of used it like, obviously the game that I watch the most, maybe everybody in my chat at least, most of us probably watch the most, is Mario.
Yeah.
But mine was kind of a break from that,
Yeah,
and I never
absolutely.
have streamed it just because I watch everybody else do that. We are, not capable of playing Mario at any kind of any kind of a level that's close to people that I watch. So it's always been kind of like a break,
Yeah.
me streaming to like what I watch.
Yeah, because I remember like when you started streaming, I remember seeing like, no, I can't remember what it was, but it was some like 8-bit racing game. And it might have been like a Sega game or an early PlayStation game. I'm not too sure.
Oh yeah, so that would have been it would have been the N64 still. Cruising USA.
That was it. Yes, because
Yep.
that was one
Yeah.
thing that's always stuck out with me because it was something different. And I do like the fact that like, what you've done is like having been around the sort of space of Mario 64 and then just been like, well, when I get started here, this is going to be a break from that. Like it's good to just kind of
Yeah.
like keep the same community, grow it kind of a little bit more, but do something different, but also kind of still stay like within the sort of same circle as that. Like I think that's it's definitely very niche, and I don't think a lot of people really have exploited that like in that whole space.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always been like that same thought process, is like this will be a break for all of us that, watch Mario for 6 hours a day.
Okay, yeah.
And when I go live, everybody can kind of watch Mario, but not really. Like I played Odyssey for a little bit.
Hmm.
But I also play like, like horror games or like, spooky games and things that people enjoy watching me act like a child and scream. You know what I mean? Like it's and it actually came about, and I don't want to feel like I could just ramble forever. So if this is a
No,
different
no,
question,
please
let me
do.
know.
Please do, man.
Um, but really, I started doing it like Mario Kart was because of Bryce.
Oh.
Bryce was playing it, at like a random time, like Bryce does, and he was on like Banshee Boardwalk and was just like rerunning this track, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again and again, like the real speedrunners do.
The ones who
not
practice.
not me, not my pretending self. But I'm like, wait a second, like you can speed, like you can speed run Mario Kart, and then like looked at it and I'm like, well, shit, you sure can. It's just all of the cups, and I was like, well, I guess that's what we're doing. Like it just would have never crossed my mind to be like, oh, you can speed run a game that isn't like necessarily like a story mode. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just it's all the cups and every race, and there you go. That's your speed run. And I'm like, well, I do love that game.
Oh, for
So that's
sure.
really the only reason it ever popped into my head to do it. And what's funny is that might have been the only day that I've ever seen Bryce play that game. I don't like that's I haven't seen it since. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I saw one day him doing Mario Kart 64 and never again.
Yeah, that one stream was like the passing of the torch over to you. But you know
Yeah.
what I have to say, right? I have to say, fair fucking play that you can speedrun that game because I tried that and oh my god, that shit is hard. Like, you get to like the third or fourth cup and you think, all right, 4 more races, 3 more races, we can do this. And then
Yeah.
you come fifth and it's like, there's 3 minutes. There's kind of,
Yeah, you
oh,
cut.
this is pointless. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So fair play. And it is actually funny as well that you mention Bryce and like he's like kind of who got you into like speedrunning Mario Kart because
Yeah.
it was like a few weeks ago when I interviewed JJ, she said the exact same thing about how she got into Mario 64 because she saw Bryce. And obviously
What an
Bryce does
influencer.
he is like I mean he must stream it like middle of the night for you as well like because it's something like maybe
Yeah.
if I wake up early for work at like say 6 o'clock or something I'll see him online and it's
Yeah.
just like I don't even know what time it is for you but there is no way you should still be up.
If we're lucky, we get Bryce once a week, and you're never gonna know when it's gonna happen. I love him. Like he's played. He's had somebody over, and they were playing like NBA Hang Time,
Hmm.
which is like another 64 game, basketball game, and I love that. But yeah, you never know what he might switch to, and
Yeah,
then someone's gonna speedrun it.
exactly. Yeah, but it's good to have that kind of level of variety though, because obviously, like with yourself,
Oh yeah,
your main game is Mario Kart 64, and
yeah,
like I think in terms of that, it kind of fits the vibe of your stream anyway. Just like a load of people sitting having a chat, getting a bit unhinged. As for those who don't know or may not have seen me in Doc Rock's chats, not the way I present myself when I do the podcast. It's imagine the exact opposite of that. That's how I present myself in Doc Rock's chat. It's kind of crazy, but I don't know. I mean, it's just
happy to have you.
it does it. I mean, it gets a laugh, and that does the job. Not to blow smoke at my own arse, but
We have our good days and we have our bad days in chat. And in our bad days, I just mean unhinged. Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. In that
We
case,
do okay
yeah,
sometimes.
like in that context, bad is good.
Yeah,
Like something that like is always said as well. Like if I ever pop up in your chat is who left the window open? Like who
yeah.
let this motherfucker in?
Fact. You can't trust it. He'll find a way in.
Of course.
Always,
And like
always.
TTS is a dangerous thing as well for me.
It is, but it's fun.
Oh yeah, like that's because obviously like TTS is like TikTok that you can allow TTS for free. Like whereas
Yeah.
like with Twitch you have to like gift bits, or there's other ways like channel points and stuff like that.
Okay.
There are other
Yeah,
ways,
yeah, yeah.
but obviously with with it on TikTok, and TikTok censorship for those who don't know is like incredibly like it's brutal. Like there are just you
Wild.
can't there's some sentences that could be like incredibly normal, but TikTok will find a way. And
Yeah.
so that's the thing I like about TTS, especially in your streams, is trying to find ways to say the most
To get creative,
yeah,
yeah.
say the most heinous things I possibly can, whilst throwing together words that might sound like something bad, and it works.
Yeah, there's only one person that gets away with absolutely everything in TTS, and that's Money Man.
I have seen
That
this.
man that man doesn't get filtered. I don't know who he talks to. I don't know
No,
whose number he has. That man doesn't get filtered.
yeah, like genuinely, it is incredible. Like, so for those who don't know, Money Man, he streams himself, doesn't he? He does, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Money Man streams as well. He's like a good member in Doc Rock's community. This man can say anything on TikTok, and he's never been filtered, ever. Like
Nothing.
he has that code cracked, and like I think that is impressive because like it's something that like people frequently complain about is the filtering on TikTok, but he obviously cracked the matrix.
Yeah. he did pretty well. It's funny. We mentioned, Bryce obviously was like the first person I had seen doing Mario Kart. And sorry, my brain, we tend to jump around a little
No,
bit.
no, no, dude. That's
I
the
get
whole point of this,
distracted.
man. It's all good.
And so the first, like, the reason I even like kind of got into, I guess, this community is like, I'm on TikTok doing whatever, God knows what on my For You page. And I had seen it was Ty playing Mario.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like way back when. And he had just gotten like a huge PB. And honestly, it might have been like, sub 130 for like a 70. Like this is way first starting out Ty, and was like super jacked about it, like screaming, yelling, all kinds of stuff. The next day, I came across what I thought was the same person, but it was Hawk. And I'm like, that's weird. I just subbed to this person. Like, I had never seen Mario on my For You page. Not once had I ever seen people, like, never watched it speed running. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, and why I thought they were the same person at all. I quickly realized when the language changed a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I don't think this is the same guy.
I couldn't be
I was
further.
like in the chat and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a crazy run yesterday. And then I'm like, wait, this is not the same guy at all.
Oh man, yeah. Like I think if you were to put those two guys on like a spectrum, they would be the opposite on the opposite sides of each other. They
It's a hell of a
could
spectrum, though.
oh, they could not be further from each other in terms of like their conduct on stream. And I say conduct, you know what I say? Use that word heavily.
Two, two both beautiful humans.
Yeah.
Just a little different streams.
Just yeah, little different. So yeah,
both excellent streams.
gonna have to check these guys out. You know, T-Noom and
my
Hawk.
absolute favorites.
Check them both out. For those watching who do not know them, check them both out, and you'll see exactly what we mean. There is no real way we can explain it that would probably do it any justice.
Not at all. No.
So yeah. So now there is another question I have to ask you here. So this because it's to do with how I knew you before you started streaming. I think it's how a lot of people knew you from before you started streaming. The Doc Rock Challenge. Now,
yes.
I thought this was brilliant. Like, it was good, innovative thing you did. So for context for the listeners, this was a challenge set up by Doc Rock, challenging SM64 speedrunners to complete a custom-made challenge with a reward for the winner. This was very short-lived, you know, and I never partook, but this is also how I came to meet a lot of the wider Mario 64 speedrunners, and I thought it was brilliant for that alone. So tell us about the Doc Rock Challenge. Tell us about how it started and sort of what led to it kind of ending, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it started honestly just as a way, like, obviously we mentioned, like, I myself, like, don't play Mario like that. The only runs that I've ever done are 120s. That's just playing the game and beating the game. You know, and if I did a 120, I could do it in a day. You know,
still here.
You give me 8 hours, and I will give you 120 stars. I promise you that.
Still not bad.
But that's really how it started. Is like I knew it wasn't going to be something that I would be speed running, but after watching, you know, so many hours, so many days, months, of it, I wanted a way to be a part of the community, but not running the game.
Yeah.
So it felt like a fun, kind of cool thing to do to, be a part of the community, grow with the community, but not, you know, it's kind of difficult when, you know, you're not playing the game or running the game on stream. And I mean, to be honest with you, like I knew I was, you know, streaming like was, you know, soon or down the road, you know what I mean? So like it helps a little bit kind of like, have like a footing just in the community again, not like running it myself. And I love Mario. So I love Mario 64. And that's the biggest reason that, you know, is I love certain stars, and, you know, watching all of you guys, you get a pretty good idea of which stars you guys hate too. So
yeah, 100%.
That makes it a little easier to throw together some absolute nonsense for you guys to do, which is a ton of fun. And then honestly, like when it kind of, you know, like called it, like we're going to take a break, and then it kind of got extended a little bit. And I think it's a little bit difficult, like whether it's schedule wise with everybody, and, you know, I mean, like there's practice and rules, and like it's a lot to put together and to like have down and have out there, and really like nailed down. And I think it got, you know, just kind of tougher and tougher. Everybody's got different stream schedules. So I think maybe some rules that we had as well kind of like threw it off a little bit, because, you know, we like tested a little bit and clarifications and all that jazz. We try to like leave on like one challenge specifically. We kind of had it open-ended, like intentionally for interpretation, which I found very entertaining. But obviously, you know, like in the terms of, you know, winning a competition, I think, you know, people prefer some nailed down. So that kind of ruffled some things up, but definitely something that I guess this is the place to do it if you're gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they are gonna come back.
Good. I would love
So
to see
we
them come
are.
back.
I would say I would be shocked if we didn't have one inside of 2 weeks
Oh,
start.
getting the exclusive here from Doc
Yeah,
Rock himself. Oh,
we have discussed with someone else in the community, maybe a little bit of help,
yeah.
some insider help that might get us putting one together, but
Interesting.
it might be back to a difficult one.
Yeah.
We've done a couple fun ones. We've done like some more difficult ones. I think we'd make I think we would probably return with a pain in the ass. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think that's probably the best way to do it, I think. And like what I liked about it was the fact that it got people talking. Like it got
Yeah.
people would have like went out of their way to exclusively just stream that. Now some for way longer than others, and some people were a little bit more regulated with their time in terms of it, other people kind
Yeah.
of not so much. But um like but that's the thing, it got people talking. Like people were like, oh yeah, I'm streaming Doc Rock challenge tonight, this, that, and the other. And like people
Yeah.
were properly planning out routes for it and like kind of sharing strats and stuff. And I thought it was brilliant. Like, and like as I say, it was like something that got me knowing like so many people who speedrun Mario 64. And like at the time I was still only very new to this whole sort of realm
Yeah.
myself. I'd only been in a couple of months. I was only still doing um Twitch at the time, and I know it was exclusively a TikTok thing, but probably for the better that I never got involved, because it would have been I was still a little bit green, we'll just say.
Yeah, we that is something that I think on one of the last ones we did open up, and I say we because to those that maybe don't know, like obviously Sir T had helped a little bit with a challenge or two, but I say we being Tiff. I mean, everybody knows, Tiffany
Hmm.
obviously around the community and discords and helping just about anybody, but she had a huge part in all of the graphics and rules, and she knows that game even better than I do. So more than a ton of people. So she helped with rules and setting that stuff up and discord calls, and I mean, absolutely everything as well. Same with rules interpretation and how to get stars and all that stuff. That having somebody that knows the game inside and out, obviously way more than myself, makes it a little easier for me. So those are very much hers as well as mine. I just
Hmm.
have a fun name to put on it. So
Yeah, because like I think that's kind of, it's interesting to know, because it shows that there's so much more that goes into it than just, hey guys, grab these 30 stars as quick as you can in this order and
yeah.
send in your times. Like because I mean, I don't know what other people's thoughts were, because especially this year particularly has been like the year of the tournament, and it's kind of
Yeah.
been like an eye-opening sort of thing where you're seeing what goes into it. And like obviously you'll probably have like a bit more knowledge of that yourself, having done these little challenges, which you could argue is similarly like in a tournament setting almost. Like obviously it's not just like, but you're setting deadlines and stuff, set
Oh yeah.
criteria, set runners, etc., etc. Like it's I'm stoked to see it come back. And I can tell you now, like I would definitely love to be involved in that myself. I know I don't really do much Mario anymore, but I was
We can change that.
oh, I'd love, yeah, because I I always liked watching them, because it was so like different. And like this sort of thing, like with me and Mario 64, it's a very I don't want to say toxic relationship, but it's very much
No, it might be the word.
put it this way, right? The reason I love randomizers so much is because I'm playing the game in a different way for the first time every single time, even though it's the same game.
I love the
And
randomizers. I don't know how you do it. They're
oh man,
so
it's
fucking.
just
Can I
of
curse?
course you can,
They're
yeah, of
so
course you can.
fucking
Just be
entertaining to
yourself, man.
watch. Oh my god.
I love it, man. Like I love it. I love strategizing it. I love doing all that. And because even though it's the same game, it's different every single time. So that's what kind of keeps me engaged. I think that was the same idea with watching your challenges, because it was doing the same thing, but you had to hit a certain criteria first to be able to do it, and just everything kind of just gelled together, and it was just interesting. And I love strategizing these sorts of things. And so yeah,
Yeah.
it was like
I think it would give you a leg up. I think there's something to the randomizer if we have a peak Andy in on some of these challenges. I tell you what, I think the randomizer gives you a little bit of something that's not like a standard route. You're used to just kind of,
oh
doing
yeah,
what gets it done.
just
So,
used to doing different, just used to doing it different, really. It's just the way
yeah,
I do things. But
that could be interesting.
yeah, no, 100%. But I'm looking forward to seeing that make a glorious comeback. That'll be very interesting to see what you have in store for that.
Yeah, so we've kicked around a couple of ideas. I do have one that I think I'm gonna go with. That it'll look a little bit different, um, as far as challenges, but I have a select couple. I have a group that I would like to see
Hmm,
participate. So
interesting.
we'll see if we can't assemble a squad here and see what it looks like.
Absolutely. No, that would be awesome to see, man. And I wish you the best of luck with that.
Appreciate it.
No, of course. So let's put streaming aside for a moment. So your
Yes.
streams, they do have a really great vibe, really great community, and just they're a nice place to hang out. I always have a great time when I'm hanging in streams. But as I say, let's put that to one side for a moment. Like outside of streaming, what does Doc Rock like to get up to? What are your hobbies and interests, and maybe even something that people might not necessarily know about you?
Ooh. Something that I don't think a lot of people probably know about me is that some do, but I do paint.
Oh,
That would probably surprise people. I'm not saying that I'm good at it. I cannot draw, and if I'm going to paint something, it will be abstract because you don't have to, be worth a shit.
listen, art's subjective,
At
man.
making something look like something. Yeah, so I do enjoy that. That's probably catch people off guards. I listen to a lot of music. Um, I don't tend to be like a binge watcher, but I do love
Hmm.
movies. I love going to the movies still. Um, so that's something a little different. I'll go and visit Hawk every once in a while. I just got done doing that. So I do travel a lot,
Yeah.
for both for work and for fun here. Do enjoy some Legos.
Ah.
I bought recently, maybe what 2 months ago, the Lego Eiffel Tower that's like ten
Oh,
thousand
nice. Oh
pieces.
shit.
So I bought that. I haven't made a ton of progress on it, but we're doing our best.
No, that's fucking awesome, man. Like, and like,
And I watch a lot of streams. I know we said we were getting away from streaming,
but no, it's still a hobby, isn't
but
it, man?
yeah, I mean that's to be fair. I work, a good amount and travel with that, as long as right there with some fun. But I like watching a lot of you guys. Honestly, that
Yeah.
that keeps my peace, to kind of shut down. You know what I mean? When I'm done at the end of the day, that's usually what it is. Like when I call it, JJ's usually live, and then I can watch JJ and Beats and everybody, and then we get the late night streams and we get to watch Hawk burn it down. So I kind of have like a pretty solid schedule of like
Yeah.
when people are on, and I can just like go to the next one and always have somebody up and support them. Even if I'm lurking and just kind of be in the chat. So
Yeah, and like that's a good thing, because like the way you say that to me, it's like you're happy that people are on, because it's like, sweet, I'm gonna watch this. This is gonna be cool. I want to watch this. It's because you
yeah,
do sometimes get people who do get a little bit too deep into it and are like, shit, I have to be here. I have to watch this person. I have to go to this person. I have to go to this person's. And like, especially
yeah,
obviously, with all the people that we know, there's always so many people on in one go. people then
Yeah.
sometimes feel like they have to kind of jump across and just be like, show their face. But like, what you fucking want to, like just people are there to just entertain, like, and it's just sort of, you also have to live your own life too at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of, like at the same time, you could be, building some Lego, you could be painting, but a stream could be on in the background, but that's just like
Yeah.
your background stuff, like just to sort of your ambience essentially. Like,
Yeah.
but tell us.
And I'm guilty. Sorry,
No,
I
no, no,
didn't
no, no, no,
cut you
no.
off
You're
here.
right, dude. You're right, dude. Of
I'm guilty of just, and I'll be corny for a second. Like, I just want to spend time with the people. You know what I mean? Like,
course.
I obviously love the person that's streaming, but I'm into chat just as much. You know what I mean? I'm being completely 100%
For
honest.
sure,
We've
man.
all seen Mario now a million times. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Some
I tend to, hang out with people in chat just as
Yeah.
much.
And sometimes that like is the sort of deciding factor of whether you stay in a stream or not, is what's the
Yeah.
vibe in chat like. I've been in so many, and like, I mean, I do hop between a lot, just because I see someone live, I'm gonna say hey, leave an unhinged comment or whatever, and then just maybe go about my day if I'm busy. But like, I just, obviously it depends who it is. Like, if it's yourself or Deanie, you guys are the ones I'm most sort of unhinged with, because the
Yeah, you
TTS
don't
is
do
just,
that.
I do that with a lot. I mean, I with a lot of people, yeah, but like,
You're gonna jump into beats and stay unhinged.
whole different vibe
You
there,
wouldn't
man.
do
Oh,
that.
I wouldn't do that to beats.
You wouldn't do that to him, would
It's
you?
no, it's a different like, well, it's like to go back to the sort of Ty versus Hawk situation. You gotta kind of sort of, the way you behave, you have to tailor it to like the person who's streaming and what their vibe is like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like showing different
Yeah,
sides
you
of
can.
you and kind of different environments, I suppose.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's fun between we mentioned different vibes of streams, but both beats and Ty every once in a while I can like, I'll float some comments out there just to see if we can rattle them a little bit. And they do a good job of keeping it together, but
Oh,
every once in a
100%.
while I have hope of breaking them just a little bit.
Oh, 100%. Like you kind of got to. I do that in Hawks. Like I do that in Hawk streams, because Hawk is like, he'd be quite stoic in between laughing really loudly at something or going on an absolute rager at something. And I mean this in the
Yeah,
nicest possible way, because it's fucking entertaining, right? But
very
I
much
will
so.
come in and I will just say something, because it's the sort of thing, it's like, his chat's that busy, and I know he only sees every so many messages because he's focusing on the game, whatever. I will try and come in and say something just nuts to see if he notices it, to see if it can crack him. He could be like locked into a speed run or something, and then he just sees in the corner of the stream, oh, that wound brim on your face is looking great today or something, and see if it does anything. But I am yet to make him crack. But I take it as a
He's good.
challenge.
He's all business.
Oh, he is all business, all business. But tell us about the painting though. I'm curious about this. I never knew that you painted, like, and so like how did that come about? Is that something you've always done? Like, I know you say you can't draw, but obviously it's all abstract.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so
what's the story behind that?
so I collect art. Like I,
Oh,
will buy paintings just occasionally, or um I don't know, just visit somewhere, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like and they have a gallery or something like that, and I'll buy it. So I've art's always been interesting to me, probably because I can't do anything, like what I buy. I think that's what makes, same with like, you talking to like speedrun, like same with you guys. Um so I'm getting distracted over here.
you're
Fucking
all right, dude.
absolute nonsense is going on over here in this chat, Andy. But
That's totally
I
fine, man.
know I know that I'm not, at the level of like, obviously, you buy the paint, like, paintings. And I just, whether it's sports or paintings or watching speed runs, I think greatness is something that really interests me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't necessarily consider myself great at, anything. Like not in like a put down,
No, of
on me. Like
course.
I just
Yeah.
genuinely mean like, top notch, like top tier, God level. There's not something necessarily that I'd be like, oh, I'd put my name on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's, I just with art, like I think it's same with music. Is like I admire people that can sing and that can play instruments. I think it's amazing because it's something that I can't do.
Yeah.
So I got into painting as something that, yeah, I could throw on music and have a little less stress, for a couple hours. Was something that I picked up just honestly one afternoon. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I went on Amazon and I bought some brushes, um, paint, like, and just 10 canvases,
Mm.
whatever.
Yeah. No, canvas. I think canvases. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, head's broken. And honestly, just started like throwing it together, and that's really. I actually found this really, really this might surprise people even more than actually painting. Is I had this really weird website that I found where you could sell art.
Oh.
And like, so my thought is like kind of like what you said earlier. It's like people determine like I don't know what the hell anything is like that I'm gonna put up that would like be worth any like $5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you just find like these really rogue like random ass website. You're like, fuck it, I'll see what people think. I guess if it sucks and nobody buys it, like it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun to like put something up and to see that. It's been a minute since I've painted, but still have everything downstairs on a kitchen table that sits in the corner with a stack of random like junk mail, but it's there.
That's awesome. Like, do you reckon that's something that you'd ever consider doing on stream, or is that just something that you would do to get
Oh
away from it
man.
and just completely unwind and just have your time for just you?
That's a great question. And I've thought about doing like random like Lego lives. I don't know if I would have it in me to be um confident enough
Hmm.
maybe or like vulnerable enough to do a painting live cuz
Yeah.
even abstract, you know what I mean? I'd be like, "Oh my god, people are just going to look at this and be like, this is fucking trash." Like I don't know if I could handle that.
No, I
Like
get
I think
you.
it's one thing to be, on stream and painting. I don't know. I think I can stick to maybe Mario Kart,
Yeah.
but I can be vulnerable with that. I don't know if I could do painting. I would love to be able to, but I don't think I could.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean, because especially when you do stream and when you stream something like one main thing consistently, with obviously the exception of a few other games here and there, like you do yourself, like it is hard to kind of change that and do something like completely different out of your comfort zone. Like it's
Yeah.
because it's a whole other thing than just playing a different game. For example, it's the whole, you're doing like an entire genre of stream, if you will. Like you're going from gaming into arts, and like it's the sort of thing for, like, say you have like 100 people in your stream watching. You don't know how many of those 100 people are there to just watch a particular game versus who are there for whatever other reason, kind of thing. And it's like, when you're in that position, you almost like have to think about, what is this going to do for the stream? You might get a lot
Yeah.
of validation out of it if it turns out to go well, but you gotta look at it from that kind of other perspective as well, in terms of like, is it gonna like hinder your stream or anything like that? But no, it's totally fair. I mean, I'm sure it's something though, like, if it's something you're considering maybe in the future, who knows, could
Yeah,
get
I've
bored one Saturday
never
afternoon.
thought of it. Yeah, until you said that, I would have never thought to do it. And now I'm sitting here and I'm like, would I like do I have that in me?
I don't
I don't
know,
know. But
man.
it's the same when like I do try, I think a new game. I mix up, games every once in a while,
Yeah.
but it's almost like sometimes when you start a new game, you're like, if I'm trash at this, that I don't know if I'll love this. It would kind of be similar to do the painting is like, being vulnerable is like the same when you start a new game and you're like, this first run I'm gonna look like a jackass.
Yeah, like I think it is hard when you're streaming something different. Like if you're doing something that's like, say, story based, for example, something that you kind of have to be consistent with, like painting something, right? To take that two
Yeah.
things side by side. Um, you kind of want to not immediately be good at it, but you don't want to just be running around the same thing for an hour and then um do it once and then never go back to it, because it sort of is just kind of like you'll always remember that and think, oh fuck, that was a fucking terrible idea. Why did I bother doing that kind of shit?
Yeah, that's pretty much when I played Portal 2 for the first time. That's pretty much how I felt. I don't know if anybody knows Portal 2, but it's not good when people get to see your intelligence level when you're playing a game and you're like, this is not going well. This is not going well. There's nothing that'll make you feel stupider than playing a puzzle game and struggling with like the intro is usually not a good sign, but we kept on doing it.
That's it. You would almost rather be stuck halfway through the game than in the first 10 minutes or like 2 hours.
We may have struggled on the first couple until we realized that the game was called Portal. And then
You're like, why is there? Why can't I
out,
go through these fucking walls here? What's going on?
Yeah, like, oh, that's weird. You can go through this little portal. Oh, yeah, the game. Interesting. It may have taken me a second to realize what game I was playing.
But like, if it's outside your wheelhouse, then like, of course.
Yeah,
it's just one of those. I think with streaming, like as a gaming streamer, like everything is trial and error. There is like sort of, unless you kind of have your main thing that you do, it's hard to kind of break into variety because you don't know how it's going to go. It's like you say, you don't want to look like a dick to people watching. You don't want to look like you're shit at the game because people might not be interested. Now, it very much depends on what it is. Some people, and I can attest to this for people within my community, some people just love to watch a streamer struggle within an inch of their life whilst playing a game.
Yeah.
And those people who fall into that camp, who are listening, you know who you are. You goddamn know who you are.
I'll say it for him.
Exactly. But then there are some people,
the kind of people that create challenges and pick, the most difficult stars. Those kind of people are really fucking sick. You know what I mean?
See, that's a different sort of. I think that's like a different kind of thing because,
okay.
I think it's different. Like, I don't know. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Thinking on my feet, but in my head, it's different.
Well, good. I'm glad I'm not grouped into those.
I look at it as if it's like a bringing. It's like a community activity to bring people together rather than just to watch somebody suffer. That's the way.
That's why I do it. Yeah, that's why I did it. I only wanted to do it for fun and not because I knew that it would be frustrating to watch people. That's definitely not.
Let's say there's like a little of column A, a little of column B, sure.
Yeah, a little this, a little that.
I mean, yeah, I do get that. Like, I think for me, if I see somebody like really struggling, like I kind of am like, oh, I feel so sorry. I feel bad. I wish I could just jump in and help you. Like the empath in me just kind of comes out, and I'm just like, let me take the controller, please. Let me just help you. Let me guide you. Not that I'll do any better, but let me just sort of. I hate to see people suffering and stuff, and I think it. But also at the same time, I think it depends on how people react and how they rage out. Some people you just wait for an absolute rager, and it's like, fucking let's go.
I don't know anybody like that. I don't watch too many that, you know,
Definitely not.
have any issues with any kind of a rage or
No, I've never seen anybody break any controllers before.
I've never seen it.
Um, Hawk.
You know, you know, those allergies are
Oh
killing you,
God,
Andy.
yeah, that was really, really bad cough right there.
Although, yeah, we mention Hawk, but we cannot forget Money. That man has some primo rage in him as well.
I've never had a chance to catch a money stream, so I'm gonna have to, especially now.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna
Andy,
have
somebody
to.
somebody get a hold of Andy and make sure they send the video of Money getting taken out by a chair.
Oh
It's
shit.
still it's the greatest TikTok I've ever seen.
Okay, I definitely need
I
someone to send me this like immediately.
crying laughing. This man went to do unspeakable things to a gaming chair,
Oh shit.
and he managed to put his weight in the wrong spot, and it just
Oh.
fucking fell over on top of him, and that man just fucking laid there for 5 minutes. And just like the chat is just like burning on the side, like you're just scrolling and scrolling. Oh my god. And he had like music queued up, like the man doesn't have a silent stream,
Oh
so
man.
there's always sounds and music going off and TTS. And I'm telling you, I've never cried more of joy than that's like I think it just got sent to you. I'm telling you,
Amazing.
Andy, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. I that is definitely gonna be the first thing that I watch after this. 100%. I need to see
And
this.
you'll watch it 20 times. So I'm
Oh,
sorry I
100%.
booked your rest of your afternoon.
Nope, I am
Um
perfectly all right with that. To be honest, it'll make for a good watch while I'm uploading this anyway.
yeah, it's just on loop. It's good for an hour.
Perfect. Um. So yeah, Rock. I just have one last question for you this evening. So
Yes, sir.
to date, your streaming journey, it's been awesome. Like right from the whole year, like you can see, like the growth has just been incredible. So tell us what the ultimate goal is in terms of streaming. What do you want to achieve in 2025? Like, do you have anything specific in mind, or are you just happy doing what you do with your streams and your community?
Yeah, I guess I've always just kind of focused on, yeah, I guess just that, like community, and growth obviously is something that everybody wants, but yeah, community's the buzzword for me. That's if I can have one of those,
Yeah,
then hey, I've made it. I'm good with that. Like I do it to burn off, some anxious energy and some steam and hang out with everybody that's in my chat. Um that's that's why I'm here, is to get to talk to you. I mentioned like before we jumped on, like I just got done, hanging out with Moose and Hawk. Like if I can keep doing that all year and
yeah,
meet more of my people and everybody's people, that's I'm good. I'm good with that.
brilliant.
That keeps me going.
No, amazing. No, do you know what? You couldn't really sort of have it any better than that. To be fair, like I think it's sort of testament to sort of the growth that you have had over the last year. Like, just goes to show how organic it's been. By means of just sort of growing a community of like-minded people, just having a great time, and just you getting to
Yeah.
sort of blow off some steam with the right people. Like, I think that's you cannot really sort of go wrong in any way with that. Like, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Like, I think it's good. I think it's important as well to, as important as it is to have goals and achievements in mind, it's also good to just do it because you enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh
this community is not small, and you mentioned earlier everybody kind of crosses over one way or another and throughout, and you see the same faces and the same names, and there's positive and negatives I think with that, but overwhelmingly positive, and it's why I go to all the different streams that I do, because you're gonna see, a lot of the same people, and there's a lot of fucking good people in this community.
Oh,
So
absolutely. 100%. 100%. Like, and that's sort of that's like the most important thing about it as well, because as you say, no matter, you go across all these different streamers, you're going to see the same faces. And most of the time, it's for better reasons. Most of the time, it's you're seeing
yeah,
somebody who is like an awesome person. And I think that's why we like a big reason of why we stay watching all these different people is because of the communities as well. Like, as much as it is the streamer, it is also the communities, and that's what kind of makes it sometimes.
oh, we got the puzzle piece here.
Yeah, I had that too.
and
See,
well, and I think that's big, like with having some of the same people is, just the support. I think because we cross like over so much, or there are people on at the same time, or it is the same faces. There's a reason those then people come to you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's the reason that I'm in your streams and you're in mine, or Hawks and T Nooms, or Beats is in Hawks. Like everybody, you know what I mean? Like it's just everybody supporting everybody is how we're going to be able to grow and sustain the Mario community that we do have. And circulate all the diamonds within, you know what I mean?
ah,
Like
yeah.
I mean, it sounds silly, but that, like, it is. That's everybody supporting everybody is what makes this
Oh yeah,
community
100%.
great. And
Yeah, like 100%. Like, it's everybody growing together. Nobody is out there to try and um grow faster, be bigger than anybody else. Everybody is just trying
yeah,
to like bring each other up with them, and I think that is like such an incredible thing. And it is, I'm sure you can, speak for both of us whenever say it's great to be a part of that as well.
absolutely.
Yep. Rock, it has been fantastic having you on behind the camera. Thank you so much for
Appreciate
taking
you.
the time. Do you have any final thoughts for the listeners today?
Well, I'm gonna go full Step Brothers on you, and I'm gonna ask you a question.
Oh shit.
When they're sitting across from, it's like, I'm gonna interview you. You're like, oh, sometimes that can be how much money do you make after taxes? No. I will say, if you had to have a single star, Andy, we're gonna put you on the spot
Okay.
for Mario in a typical, say, 70 run,
Right.
worst star for you, or one star you would want included in a hypothetical challenge return, what do you want to see the people do, Andy?
Ooh. So one star that I
This is going to be
want.
recorded. People,
Yeah, oh yeah, this is
people are going to
100%.
know that this is your problem.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the one star
you
I
did
want
this.
to see people do.
Yep, 1,000
Um,
times.
oh, it's got to be the top of the house in Rainbow Red.
Oh, no.
It's got to. Oh, it has to be. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Well,
Come at me. Come at me, people. I don't
you
fucking
guys know
care.
his handle. Yeah, you know his handle. You know where to find him. That is Andy.
Get fucking practicing carpetless, will you?
This is not my fault. He
No,
did
it's
it.
not. Like,
This
yeah,
is
as Rock says, this is recorded, and like people can. I will put this shit out there for the masses to see. I will literally take the bullet for this one. I do not care.
sincerely get fucked. That was Andy.
Basically, yeah.
Andy did that.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh
All
man,
right.
yeah. Well, there we go. Like, I appreciate you turning that one on me here, because I think that is that's gonna make for something beautiful in the next challenge.
Yeah. Hey, it should be entertaining.
I think so. I think so.
I encourage your future interviewees to, at the end, before Andy gets away from us, come up with a, yeah, I'm putting you on blast,
Oh,
Andy.
here, listen.
We
Fair.
need you to ask
Someone has to.
one random fucking question that's gonna blindside him before he signs off going forward.
Do you know what? Fair, because I spend about an hour every week doing that to all my guests, so I think it's only fair that somebody does it to
Yeah.
me in return. So do you know what? I've had
Yeah, later and later.
it.
Like, next time let him start the credits and be like, "Wait, I got a question." That way he's got to edit and you get to ask him a question.
This is true. This is very true. Because that one of the benefits about doing it live is there is little to no editing. Obviously there are some exceptions sometimes, but that's okay. But yes, Rock.
Yeah, there are
some exceptions.
exceptions.
That's right.
You're a pain in the ass chat.
Yes, Rock, thank you so much for taking the time to come on behind the camera. It has been an absolute pleasure interviewing you today. My name is AndyGames _94. My guest today has been Doc Rock. You can find him on TikTok at Doc Rock. You guessed it.
Doc Rock.
We will be back with Behind the Camera with AndyGames again shortly for another installment. Until then, guys, thank you for tuning in and take care. Peace.